Hi, this is Amy from Tapping with Amy, and I'm so excited that you decided to join me today. Mostly because that means that you have an interest in learning more about EFT or tapping, and I'm thrilled to share with you everything I know and get you started on your own path towards healing using this methodology. So EFT stands for Emotional Freedom Technique, and it was developed by a man named Gary Craig. He learned a different version of it from someone named Dr. Callahan. But being an engineer by trade, Gary Craig was inclined to do whatever he could to make the process more efficient and make it more effective and utilize more tapping points and just really get the process to a place where it could heal absolutely everything. So he worked at it and he developed what I believe is the most powerful healing tool available to anybody today. Similar to acupuncture or acupressure, it utilizes the 14 energy meridians found in Chinese medicine, where acupressure uses pressure and acupuncture uses needles. EFT uses the percussion from tapping on your energy meridians to help heal your body. What I believe is the tool or the methodology that makes tapping so effective and takes acupuncture and acupressure one step further is that you are verbally focusing in on whatever it is you want to release while you're doing the tapping. So as you're tapping, you are talking about whatever anger you want to release, whatever pain you want to release, or whatever limiting belief you want to release. It truly can be used on absolutely anything. And when you are really focused in on the core issue that you want to release, it can be just a handful of visits or just a few hours worth of tapping, and it can be truly gone from your life forever. It's so amazing, and I hope that every one of you is interested in trying it. So when you have a limiting belief or a negative emotion or some physical pain or disease in your body, there is blocked energy somewhere. When your body is in perfect health, your energy is flowing freely and nothing is going wrong with your thinking or with your physical body. You're in great shape. So if you have some sort of pain or negative emotion, that means your energy is blocked somewhere. And it's the act of that tapping, that percussion, and talking about it and acknowledging it and really honoring it that enables you to surrender to it and release it from your body completely. It might sound counterintuitive that you're focusing in on whatever it is you want to release, but you know the saying, whatever you resist persists. So if you're pushing against anger, if you're pushing against sadness or grief because it doesn't feel good and you don't want it, then it stays. It's when you fully acknowledge it, fully embrace it, that your body is able to release it totally and completely, and you can heal from whatever it is. So that's a lot of explanation about what EFT is and how it works. There has been a lot of research done on the effectiveness of EFT, and if you go to my website at www.tappingwithamy.com, on the resources page, there are a couple of links to a couple of different websites that have a long list of research that has been done and research papers that you can look into on how effective it is and why it's effective. And studies have shown that on a physical level, tapping will reduce cortisol levels almost immediately in a significant way. And so if you're not familiar, cortisol is a stress hormone. So whenever you're in a stress state, your body is releasing cortisol. And it really is a detriment to any kind of healing because you can't think straight, you can't function properly when you have a lot of cortisol in your system. So lowering your cortisol with tapping and making yourself more calm is really helpful in your ability to deal with whatever it is you're facing and to release it completely. So that's one of the key things that tapping does as well. So I encourage you, go to my website, go to the resources page, and there's a couple of key links right there that you can go look at some of the research that's been done on this already. So let's go ahead and get you started and give you an intro to how to do tapping on your own. I'm just going to quickly go through the tapping points and show you how to do it, and hopefully get you started on your own journey with it. So the first tapping point, well, before I get to that, let me say that the tapping points that I learned and the order that I do the tapping in may be different from one of the other practitioners or people that you've come across out on the web today. It's okay. None of what anybody does is wrong. I learned the way that I do it, and I like the way that I do it because it's utilizing all 14 energy meridians, and I also like to tap on both sides of my body. So I'm addressing, this side of energy meridians and this side. There's a lot of research that says that one side is effective also, but I tend to think that if I'm going to be tapping, why not make it as effective and as efficient as possible? So I'm going to tap on all the spots and on both sides of my body in order to release things as quickly as I can. So the first tapping spot that is called the karate chop points, right here on the side of your palm. And when I'm tapping on that spot, I use both hands, so I'm tapping on both karate chop points, just like this. Some people just like to tap with their fingers on either side. I like to utilize both energy meridians there and tap them together. So while you're tapping on this karate chop point, you're going to be saying what's called a setup phrase. And it starts like, even though I have this sadness or anger or low self-esteem, you're going to say, I love and accept myself anyway. And you say that 3 times. Even though I have this low self-esteem, I love and accept myself anyway. Even though I have this low self-esteem, I love and accept myself anyway. Now I do want to point out that whatever you're saying has to feel true. So if you aren't in a place of loving yourself, then it's important that you say, I want to love and accept myself anyway. So once you do that setup statement 3 times, really focusing in on whatever problem you're trying to release, that's important. Then you're going to start using a repeater phrase on the other tapping spots. So the first tapping spot is right here at the beginning of your eyebrows. And I'd like to tap with kind of my middle 3 fingers, just because that's kind of what fits in that space. And you don't want to tap too hard. Don't tap so hard that you're giving yourself a headache, but you still want to feel it also. So tap just hard enough to feel it, and you're going to tap, 7 to 10 times, or enough time to say the setup phrase. So you can say right here, this low self-esteem. And then you go to the second tapping point, which is the side of the eye right here on the temple. And you're going to say it again, this low self-esteem. And then you go to under the eye right here, this low self-esteem. Under the nose, this low self-esteem. On the chin, just below your lip, right in that indentation there. I have low self-esteem. The next point is on right below your collarbone, actually about 1 inch below, in that valley between your ribs and your collarbone. And I like to tap with all fingers there because space permitting. Low self-esteem. And then under your arms. For women, it's right where the bra strap is. That's about 4 inches below your armpit. Again, both sides, low self-esteem. The next point is one not many practitioners incorporate, and maybe it's because it's in a little bit of an awkward spot, but I like to incorporate this one just because I want to do as many as possible. But that's right below your breasts. Stand up a little bit so you can see. For women, it's right just below where the underwear and your bra would be. For men, it's about 2 to 3 inches below your nipple, and that is the liver spot right there. So you'd say low self-esteem. The next spot is on your wrist, but there's 3 spots here actually. So there's one on this side, in the center, and then on the other side. So when I'm tapping my wrists together, I like to vacillate my hands so that I make sure and catch all 3 energy meridians while I'm doing the tapping. Okay, and then you say low self-esteem there as well. And then the last one is up on top of the head, low self-esteem. So what's important to do, I forgot to mention, is before you start your tapping, you want to rate whatever it is you're trying to release on a scale of 0 to 10. So if we're focusing on self-esteem, you want to ask yourself how low, let's see, maybe you could do it as how true is the statement. I have very low self-esteem. So if it's true to the maximum extent, then you're at a 10. And if it's not true at all, you feel totally neutral about that, then it's a 0. So whatever you're focusing on, you always want to get it down to 0. So you rate yourself before doing the tapping, and say you were at like a 7 or 8, maybe even a 10. Then you make sure after you're done doing a couple of rounds of tapping to rate yourself again and really evaluate, how do I feel about this? Try to get yourself into a negative place with it, because that is the only true way to measure whether or not you've released this negative emotion or this negative belief about yourself. So you rate it again, and hopefully it has gone down. Whether it's 1 point or 2 points, maybe you were at a 7 and now you're at a 6, you're feeling a little bit lighter about it. That's great. That is progress. You are on the right path and you're doing something great for yourself. So keep going with it. If it didn't shift at all, then you probably need to do a little more detective work about what the core issue is. Self-esteem is kind of a big one, so maybe I should have chosen something else, but it usually has a lot of aspects to it, a lot of things that have created it in the first place. And each one of those things needs to be addressed in order to release it completely, but don't stop. Don't let that deter you. Keep working at it. I guarantee you it's worth it. You will realize success with it and you will feel so much better. So that's your brief introduction to EFT. I know it looks a little funny, but you'll get used to it, and then you won't care if people see you doing it or not, because it won't matter. You just find so much value in it. But if you want to learn more, please go to my website. Again, it's www.tappingwithamy.com. And again, in the resources section, you can find an illustration of the tapping points, so you can have a little cheat sheet to look at so you know which points you should be focusing on. And there's a few articles in there about how to make your tapping more effective. And I'm going to be adding videos and more articles every week. So sign up to receive some emails from me and notifications on when to go to the website and receive more information. Again, I'm so glad that you joined me today. I hope you use this as one of the main healing tools in your life. It has been revolutionary for me in mine, and I wish the same luck for you with yours. Thank you.